Welcome to the first episode of the Sneaky Peek podcast. It has nothing to do with movies.
Or sneaky peeks.
Yeah. It's just, I saw a really funny D&D pun. And it's like, what do you call a mountain guarded by rogues? And the answer is a sneak peek.
A sneak peek. Yes, indeed.
So I decided the name of the podcast is The Sneaky Peek.
I feel like we need some more roguish characters.
I don't know. For the campaign that we're currently going to do, you're a pretty roguish character.
That's
I'm a
valid.
pretty roguish character.
That's valid.
I mean, Will, being a barbarian, definitely not roguish.
Not so roguish.
Ryan, being a
Tabaxi.
Tabaxi ranger, is going to be pretty roguish.
Decently roguish.
Like, if he wants to play roguishly, although for the Gloomstalker, it's kind of like the necromantic ranger. There's always some type of class like that. Some type of class that's all dark and edgy.
Yeah.
Some subclass for it
For everything.
makes it a little extra.
Will's going to be the one that's going to get us in trouble. We're going to be like planning our infiltration into a building, and he's like, I kicked the door in. There's guards in here. They're not happy.
See, if it was Calvin, I could totally see that, because that's how Calvin plays. But, like, I don't know with Will. We haven't seen him play yet.
That's valid.
Just because he's going for a barbarian doesn't mean he'll roleplay like a barbarian.
He could be the most well-mannered barbarian we've ever seen.
Right?
I could learn to speak English someday. It'd be amazing.
I mean, let's face it, intelligence is going to be like his dumb stat.
Yeah.
If he's taking any advice from the players around him, they're going to be like, no, don't worry about intelligence. You're a barbarian. You don't got to be smart.
You do not need to know things. You need to smash things.
If you want to know things and smash things, you may be taking the wrong class.
Yeah. Barbarians are good at smashing, not at talking.
Yep.
Just making all these like vape noises in the background.
It's alright. In the first test podcast that I did for the actual YouTube channel, because we used to have a podcast on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
And that went for probably like 10 episodes. And then timing schedules and all that stuff got in the way, and we never really got around to doing it again.
Real life makes podcasting hard.
It does. Real life makes like everything YouTube hard.
Unless you're unemployed.
Mm.
Then it's really just weed that makes podcasting hard.
It is. Because I'm totally like, sometimes I'm like, whether it's podcasting or making a video or something, sometimes I think before I start recording the video and I'm like, nah, I'm like way too high for this.
Yeah.
Like, my functionality here is going to be very minimal.
Hi guys, my functionality is around 10%. We're gonna do this podcast.
Like, seriously, if you watch some of my old, if you watch, like, really any of my Let's Plays on the channel, fucking, if you know the fact that I was high when I recorded them, and you watch them, you can totally tell.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If you didn't know, it just seems kind of like I'm bad at Let's Plays.
I'm just bad at Let's Plays. No, I'm just very baked.
Yep.
I'm actually doing super good at this game for how baked I am, guys. I feel like a Let's Play is incomplete without, some sort of mind-altering substance. None of your viewers are going to be playing sober, so it's not really a Let's Play if you're sober.
Well, I mean, I feel kind of bad because we started out doing Let's Plays, and I really liked Minecraft, so I started out doing Minecraft, and I was like, it's popular, everybody likes watching
Everybody
Minecraft.
likes Minecraft. Yeah.
And we ended up getting like a lot of kids and teens on there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the only thing that felt really weird about it was like, I cussed a lot. I said stupid shit.
You're 11 and I'm really high.
Like, worst of it all was like, I'd get really high and then I'd run out of things to talk about, but I wasn't good at editing the video. So most of the time, I'd just record 30 minutes of me talking and playing the game.
And just like the last half is all rambling.
Fucking for several of the Minecraft Let's Plays, it just turns into me talking about how my stomach works with gluten and lactose intolerance.
So guys, welcome to this Minecraft Let's Play. Let's talk about my digestive issues.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's really easy to get off track when the only track you have is a video game, especially when it's something as repetitive as Minecraft, because you're just like, well, I can't say I built another block, I built another block, I built another block. So I have to talk about something.
Yeah.
Like,
and then, like, there was a couple of them that I did with other people, and like, you can't even find those videos anymore. I deleted them. They turned out so bad. Like, they really didn't get views at all.
yeah.
And then the people that I was working with in the videos, I don't hang out with anymore.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I'm just going to remove you from this.
It just no longer exists.
We're very early in our YouTube career. I'll just say we've never worked with you.
You've been disowned from this trajectory of a YouTube career. That made hella sense. The words that I just said.
See, I totally thought about, like, I didn't think about it until, like, after I deleted them.
Yeah.
But I totally thought about, like, putting them as unlisted.
Yeah.
Because I did a bunch of videos with this guy, and I ended up deleting, like, 20 videos.
Uh-huh.
And out of those 20 videos, there's, like, I think over 100 views.
Yeah.
So just, like, starting off, that would have helped out.
Yeah.
Just for, like, people finding my channel and being like, oh, this guy's actually got, like, people watch this stuff.
Yeah. See, this is kind of a nice niche because, like, you've got tons of podcasts where people smoke weed. Like Joe Rogan smokes tons of weed on his podcast. You got tons of podcasts where people talk about D&D. But don't really have any podcasts where people smoke weed and talk about D&D and other random shit like what we've been talking about for the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, whatever that was.
Well, that was the best, was, like, on the other podcast, there's, like, an hour and a half long podcast where I think I make maybe 20 comments in it. The rest of it is just Chris and Alex talking about Star Wars.
I could see that, yeah, that will happen.
And I didn't want to stop them until I was like, man, we're almost getting 2 hours.
This podcast is now a conversation about Star Wars.
This is now just a 2-hour podcast about Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like, we touched on D&D for like 30 minutes, and then the rest of it was just Star Wars.
Yeah. Really long podcasts are sometimes good if they're talking about something interesting.
Yeah.
If not, it's just, if it doesn't interest you, you're not going to watch the whole thing, obviously.
Mm.
Like, I watched some of freaking Adam Savage's stuff on the Tested YouTube channel. And whenever Brian is there, he just, like, leaves the room or puts in, like, earbuds. They're like, I get it. It's a 3-hour podcast. I get it.
Well, once it gets into, like, if it's, like, an hour to an hour and a half long,
yeah.
like, most people, I imagine, see that as, like, oh, I can totally do that.
Yeah.
Once it gets into, like, the 2 to 4 hour range.
Like, this is a serious chunk of my life I'm dedicating.
Like, I'm dedicating all day to this,
Yeah.
maybe even part of tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when I was in high school, I'd watch podcasts, and I'd start one when I got home from school.
Yeah.
And, like, because I was so impulsive and wanted to do other stuff, I kept pausing it.
Yeah.
So, like, I'd come back to it every, like, couple hours and listen to, like, 20 minutes of it and then pause it.
Yeah.
And I remember there was one podcast, it was, like, 2 hours long, and I spent a week listening to it.
Yeah.
Just because I kept pausing it over and over again. The only time I'd listen to it was when I was home from school.
Yep. There's only, like, a couple channels that no matter what they post and how long it is, I'll just sit down and watch it. Like, even if it's a 4-hour video.
Mm.
That's when you just get a bunch of weed and, like, sit down. And like, okay, the couch is my home now for the rest of this day.
Yeah. I've totally had days where I do that.
I have days dedicated to YouTube sometimes.
Mm.
I have some channels I need to catch up on because I've been busy lately.
Oh, yeah. Well, then my other problem is, like, I tend to put on YouTube as white noise.
Yeah.
So I have, like, 3 or 4 channels where I can, like, and I change them. Like, there's 3 or 4 channels I listen to for, like, 2 or 3 weeks, and then I switch it to, like, 3 or 4 other channels. And I'll just do that with that stuff, but I'll totally go, like, 3 or 4 days without watching anybody else's content.
Yeah, I've done that.
And then I'll come back to it and I'll be like, ooh, what's everybody else been doing? And I'll spend a whole day just watching everybody else.
Yeah. I'll occasionally also just, like, binge watch content from a dead channel. Like, a channel that I used to watch that is no longer is active at all, and I'll just go back and watch everything they ever posted because I'm bored. And I'm just that kind of person.
Oh, yeah, there's a channel that I'm subscribed to.
Yeah.
That I think hasn't posted a video in, like, a year.
Oh, yeah, me too, yeah.
And, like, it was just so odd because, like, 8 months ago or something, I was sitting here and I was like, all of a sudden this one YouTube channel pops into my head from a long time ago. And I was trying to remember what it was called. And right as soon as I remembered what it was called, I typed it in and found it and everything. I don't think I watched any of his, like, I think I may have watched, like, 5 or 6 of the old videos. But for the most part, like, he had taken down a lot of his old content.
Yep, yeah. I hate it when creators were like, I'm bored of this channel, so I'm going to take down all the content. No, like, leave the content.
Yeah.
Us weird stoners that are up at 3 a.m. will watch your content later.
Oh, yeah. You still get money for it from us.
We're still paying you. Like, leave us the content. Even if it's weird, somebody's watching it.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was, I don't know if you ever watched him, Kev Chumba.
I think I've heard of him, yeah.
It was from, like, way back in the day, like, when I was in, like, middle school.
Yeah.
When, like, everybody on YouTube was cool.
YouTube was the coolest thing ever.
And not some mega company that's more worried about face than they are anyone else.
Yeah. Nobody got rich off YouTube for being just mostly stupid. I guess as far as ways to get rich go, I mean, being stupid. Like, if you're stupid, you might as well get rich off it because you're not going to get rich off anything else.
Yeah.
Like, if you have the personality of a 5-year-old rodeo clown, I guess just roll with it.
I like that. The personality of a 5-year-old rodeo clown.
Well, it's like a lot of the YouTubers that people are constantly asking me if I watch.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, no, not really, because it's all just kind of...
Has anybody ever asked you if you watch Logan Paul?
Yes, yeah. I've been thinking Logan Paul in my head this whole time. I just didn't want to, like, say it out loud. But that was my first thought when I think of crappy YouTubers that got rich for being stupid is Logan Paul.
Yeah. Logan Paul and Jake Paul.
Yeah. It's like, you just got rich for being really stupid and kind of a huge douche, especially to your neighbors.
Yeah.
Like, people hate you, but everybody else loves. People that know you hate you, and people that don't know you love you. But that's like a thing you can get rich for now, is just being really ridiculous. I mean, I guess, like, historically there's always been slapstick comedy. You know, even black and white comedy era, there's been slapstick comedy, but we've taken it to a level of, like, height of stupidity and, like, involving the public in your stupidity. Like, let's make other people a part of this stupidity.
Like prank channels.
Yeah.
Like, I've thought it would be cool to do, like, a prank to Alex before and, like, videotape it or something.
Yeah.
But I don't want to do that because I don't want anybody to be like, oh, do more of that. Because we're constantly trying to see what content people like.
Do more of that. This is a prank channel now. No! Go home.
Like, that's all they're going to say to us. And it's going to be like, oh, man, one prank video. And they're going to want more prank videos.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the worst because you don't want to be a prank channel.
No, nobody wants nobody needs another prank channel.
Like, either there's two things that are going to happen if you're a prank channel. Either your pranks are really fake, or they're real, and you get in trouble because you've caused harm to
Or
somebody.
damage, or yeah.
Like, you put somebody's life in danger. Like, there was a prank video, I think it was from like a year ago, of a guy pranking a homeless guy.
Yeah.
Where he takes Oreo cookies and, like, one of those sleeves of Oreos.
Yeah.
He takes them all out, scrapes all the frosting off of them.
Yeah.
And fills it with toothpaste.
Yeah, see, that's just like, that's not a prank. That's just being a dick.
And then goes up to the homeless dude and gives him $20 and then gives him the toothpaste Oreos and has him eat them.
Yeah.
And I think, like, in the video, he makes him eat, like, 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah, no, that's not a prank. That's just being a dick to homeless people.
Right.
See, that's the other problem with having a real prank channel, is you're either going to get in trouble, or alternatively, it's like you're going to prank the wrong person and they're just going to kick the actual shit out of you. Or you're going to be, like, walking down the block, like, 5 minutes later, and they're going to, like, hit you with their car because they're crazy. Like,
yeah.
You know?
You don't know who you're fucking
Yeah, you
with.
don't know who you're pranking. They might just kill you, you know?
Like, they could totally just run up on you and end your life.
Yeah.
Like, how is that yet to happen?
Well, I'm sure it has. I've seen videos online where people got punched for pranks or, like, got shit.
Well, I've seen that, but
I'm sure
like,
somebody's got hit with a car or shot or something, and the cops are like, I wonder what happened here. And like,
I'm just like, it would be the craziest prank video. I hope it's a live stream if it ever happens.
yeah.
Of, like, somebody pranking somebody and then, like, immediately pulling out a knife and just, like, stab them. And it's like,
that's why you don't prank people. You don't
instantly
know.
everything goes worse.
That's why you don't prank people you don't know. Some people are crazy. They might just stab you.
Like, all I can imagine, too, is the prankster being like, that guy looks funny. He looks like a weirdo. Let's go prank him.
It could be like a disgruntled, like, off-duty police officer just, like, tase you until you urinate repeatedly.
Yeah.
You know, like, some old lady's gonna pepper spray the shit out of you. Just because you made her mad. But she's an old lady, she'll probably get away with it. Like,
Oh, yeah.
so you gotta understand, when I was living in Denver, there was so much, like, random but targeted violence in downtown. Like, groups of, like, people would just find random people to rob and, like, beat the shit out of. And it's like, you don't have anything, like, better to do. Like, I mean, at that point, drugs. I'm recommending just do drugs. Like, at least you're not hurting anybody else but yourself. Like, try crack. That'll give you something to do.
Like, all I can imagine is, like, I could see people doing this and thinking it's fun. But in my opinion, the only way I would ever do that to somebody is if I was like, man, I'm really addicted to this
To this
drug.
crack. Maybe don't do the crack.
And you're like, I ain't got money. I'll just go to my smart friends, and they'll be like, all right, this is how we rob
This is
people.
how we rob people. Like, I've done stupid shit, but it usually just ends in me injuring myself. Like, I mean, occasionally I've damaged property, but I've never just, like, randomly been like, hey, you, give me your money. Now
Right.
fall on the ground and bleed.
Like, even back in the day when I used to be a bully, like, I never stole somebody's lunch money.
Yeah.
Like, if I stole something from somebody, it was always really roguelike.
Yeah, you're just like,
Wait till they weren't paying attention, then it's still like a pencil
yeah.
or like a pen, or if they weren't in the classroom anymore, like nobody was in the classroom. Fucking, I just reach in there and take something like this.
Yeah.
Like literally, this is something I stole from a girl in class. I didn't want anybody recognizing it
Yeah.
as hers. She had like wrote her initials on it in Sharpie.
Yeah.
So I used lighter to get rid of the initials.
That makes sense.
And then I never took it to school. I put jewelry in it that like I found on the ground.
This has turned into a discussion about adolescent theft.
And I put my nail polish in it.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost a makeup bag.
Mm.
I mean, it probably is a makeup bag. They probably sell that bag as like 7 different things. It's a pencil bag, it's a makeup bag, it's an organizer.
Right.
You know,
like I would have
it's
never.
made in some factory in Taiwan by like very unhappy children.
Right.
They're like, what do you make this bag for? And they're like, we don't know. We can't afford the bags. We buy rice. This is terrible, but it's definitely going to offend somebody, but it's okay.
I just think it's funny. Modella.
Modelo.
Like I didn't.
Is that
see
how
the A
rednecks
at the end
ask
of
for a
it.
Modelo? Give me a Modelo. You mean a Modelo, sir? Just give me a goddamn Modelo. Like,
That'd be too good. Oh, there's the tag. Made in China. I like it. Tag has nothing on that side. And big bold letters on this side. Made in China.
I would estimate at least like 73% of this room was made in China. Like most things that most people own in America now are made in China.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. Where do you think my cigarettes were made?
Probably in like Virginia,
Okay.
I would assume. I think most American cigarettes are made in Virginia. I would buy more American products, but us American workers want so much money. Our products are so expensive.
Oh yeah.
I am a minimum wage American worker. I can't afford products from skilled American workers. Their skills are too high for me. They're too expensive.
I watched a video the other day about water.
Yeah.
And one of the big things it described in it was if we treated water like we should, where it costs the price, like a set price, instead of like just building for it to be transported and not really paying for the water.
Yeah.
Then the price of everything would go up because of how much water is used in the creation of different products.
Yeah, basically every like chemical process to create base raw materials is going to have wastewater.
Mm. So then every commodity that you have that you could go out and buy would increase in price. Your food would probably increase in price because of how much water goes into
transporting it,
or even raising a cow or growing a plant. And the only reason they're like doing that is because the reason they're thinking about doing that is there's a whole bunch of places that are going through like water crises.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's like, I mean, even here in the U.S., and I mean, living in the area we do, it's something I've seen firsthand. It's like any chemical, or like any product that's like plastic based or rubber based or has any of that in it, basically has petroleum products in it.
Okay.
And I mean, a single drilling rig has literal tons of wastewater. You know, that's just like oily, sludgy wastewater that they basically just put back on the surface ground. You know, so it's not super effective. Even drilling for the thing that we use for most of our energy is not super effective water wise. There's a lot of wastewater involved.
Okay.
And then when you look at chemical processing, there's a lot of wastewater involved in that. And then there's, you know, wastewater in growing plants. And pretty much our whole economy is just like throw water at it. This is a very rambly conversation so far.
I mean, that's usually how podcasts tend to go.
We got geopolitical there for a second, but it's okay.
It was just, we were talking about that topic, and for some reason it made me think of that documentary I watched.
Yep.
I'm not going to talk about the other documentary I watched because it pissed me off.
It made me so mad.
Like, it wouldn't make me mad talking about it, but I know it would upset people that watch this, that I got angry about it. So I don't even want
to talk about it.
Yeah, I don't want to cause that issue.
We're causing drama. So many dramas. Multiple dramas. Well, it's like the YouTube comment section. I mean, it's amazing to see how people like devolve socially when they're on a forum that's completely anonymous. You know, like nobody can see you or like physically confront you. Like you'll say anything in the YouTube comment section. Some people will. Like it's amazing.
I try to maintain a standard of like the nicest I possibly can be.
Standard of decency.
I mean, back in the day, there's a few times where I've commented on stuff and been all angry and been like, fuck you guys, I hate you, I don't want to watch this channel anymore.
You all suck.
And fucking most of the time I'd find out that it was some type of joke, some type of elaborate joke, and it's like, well, maybe I want to watch you guys again, but I don't know if I do. And then other
times, made
me
feel stupid.
Yeah.
So fuck you.
And then other times it'd be like, I don't fucking remember. I don't know what I was gonna say.
I have no idea what you were gonna say. YouTube things. YouTube. I don't know if I'm just lucky. I've never had to like stop watching a content creator because they like said or did something crazy. You know what I mean? Never had a content creator come out as like super racist or like, you know, anything crazy. Most of the channels I've watched either just like still exist or just ceased to exist because of some reason that I don't know.
Well, I try not to do it, especially when I'm like around my friends and stuff.
Yeah.
But my family gets to see it more often from me.
Yeah.
If somebody's like talking about something that I completely disagree with.
Yeah.
Or like I've heard somebody else explain it differently.
Yeah.
And their version made more sense while whoever's saying it
this is better.
is like
making
no sense or not getting to the point or anything. And I'll get upset with them.
Yeah. Well, it's like you notice, like, not even just on the internet, but in real life, like 99% of people react horribly to you giving them correct information. Like, if you're just like, no, this is the correct thing, they're like, well, fuck you for knowing the correct thing. And you're like, sorry, I was just trying to, like, be polite and tell you what the correct thing was. Like,
I tend to do that with Alex.
Yeah.
Like, he'll correct me on something. and I'll have watched something or heard something, and I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure it's this way. And he's like, no. And he's gotten better at explaining it, but for the most part, it still turns into something where it's like, I don't know. I don't like you now. I
No,
wanna
just
touch
stop it.
you.
Yeah.
Your words infuriate me.
Yeah, I think it's something about just like that innate fear of like being made to look stupid in front of your peers. You're like, no, the thing I said was correct, and you'll shut up about it now.
Yeah. And the less stupid you want to look, the more agitated you get.
Yeah, and the more stupid you look.
Mm.
This is like high school in a nutshell.
Oh yeah.
If you're in high school, just
And like everybody does it
this is
though.
high school. Yeah.
Like everybody, like an adult that's like 45, still has a moment where they're like, "No, I saw."
No,
Video
I am
about it.
correct.
Then it leads to a fight where
Yep.
there's like a lot of yelling and screaming,
Yep.
and one of them flips the other one off
Yep.
and storms out.
Yep. Or they just do something crazy. I can't. It was like.
That's how bros fight with each
Yeah.
other. Bros don't really like get physical unless one of the members of the party that's fighting is already going to get physical
Yeah.
and is pre-known to get physical.
Yeah. So amazing the crazy things people do. Like I saw a news story. It was like 4 or 5 years ago. I can't remember where it was. There was this guy, and the police got called because this guy got stabbed in his front lawn, and it turned out that his brother had stabbed him over a fight over a paper airplane. These guys were like in their 40s, not like children. They were like 45 or 48, and they got in a fight over a paper airplane, and one of them stabbed the other one with like not even like a real knife, like a kitchen paring knife, like stuck it in his shoulder.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I've definitely chased around Alex around the house before with the deadly object.
Yeah.
Like, I've done that. Not proud of it.
Yeah.
I've lit him on fire a couple of times. Most of those times were by accident.
Yeah. Most of them, I mean.
Like, the one time he likes to point out all the time, every time I remember it, I'm pretty sure it was an accident. We were both wearing footy pajamas.
Yeah.
I was playing with matches.
Mm-hmm.
I lit a tissue on fire. We were both staring at it. And I dropped the tissue because the flame touched my fingers. And it landed on his footy pajamas.
Oh, God. That's terrible. See, I missed a lot of that because I grew up without siblings. I was an only child. I did set my best friend's face on fire at like 14.
How do you do that?
So we were in his backyard, and I mean we were poor ghetto trailer park kids, so we were doing stupid shit, and we were trying to make a little fire in his backyard, and we had rubbing alcohol, and we were trying to light this fire, and he was on the opposite side of the fire from me, like leaning down, looking at the fire. And I just like grabbed the bottle of alcohol and like squeezed it and sprayed it into the fire and didn't think about the fact that it was going to shoot a giant ball of fire out the other side of it. And it just like burned his eyebrows off and caught his hair on fire. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
It was pretty intense. We dug a hole once because we were kids. You know, we were like 12 and 13 and we were like, we're going to dig a hole in the backyard. We were going to bury something. I don't remember what the fuck it was. And we just left it there. And another kid we knew came running through the yard at night because he lived like down the block and like our yard was part of his shortcut to get there, and he just like stepped in the hole and we just hear him like scream and he hit the ground. He like stepped in the hole and broke his ankle.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
How deep was the hole?
It was probably like 1.5 feet deep. I mean, it was pretty deep. It was deep enough to break a child's ankle. We'll put it that way.
When you said hole, the first thing I imagined was like a 6 foot deep hole.
No, I mean it was like a.
Like I was imagining.
Now that I think about it, it was
digging
a
hole
pretty perfect like ankle trap size hole. It was like about 1.5 feet deep and maybe like 8 inches across. So your foot would just like go straight in and then you would stop. We didn't really design it that way, but that ended up being how it worked out.
I feel like that breaks so many people's ankles.
Yeah, no, we filled it up after that. His mom was like, "You're gonna fill the hole so I don't get sued by somebody."
I just love the idea that you could be like, know how to defend against the zombies. And you just go outside and you just start digging a whole bunch of
Yeah. They'll get
foot and a
stuck.
half
They'll
by
get stuck.
8-inch holes.
I've seen this work before, trust me. If it can disarm a child, it can disarm a zombie.
Like they just step it in, fucking just ankles start breaking left and right.
Yeah. It could be effective. Yeah, we did a lot of stupid shit at that house. I mean, like, dumb, pointless, random crap.
I mean, that's what you're supposed to do when you're a kid, though.
Yeah, valid.
Especially when, like, everything heals faster and, like, bounces back faster. Like, you totally take a smack to the face.
Yeah.
And bounce back from it, like, the next day.
Yeah.
Whereas now, if you fell off a tree and smacked your face on a limb, dude, you're probably in the hospital.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
your
exactly.
face is broken.
Half the shit I did when I was a kid, if I did it now, like, I'm gonna have to wake up, I'm gonna have to take 4 Advil, go back to bed for an hour, take a hot shower, probably call in sick for work. Like, that's very true. Well, I mean, we all started smoking weed in middle school, too. So you've got a bunch of, like, 13 and 14-year-olds super high on shitty weed in a house where nobody cares what they're doing. Like, completely unsupervised. It's a recipe for a lot of hospital visits.
I wish I would have had you or Alex when I decided to experiment with weed.
Yeah.
I even just wish I would have had my stoner friends that were my group of friends.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the ones I knew that smoked weed, I wish they would have been the ones that would have been like, hey, you want to try this joint? Because I totally would have been down.
Yeah.
Like, I'd totally be down to smoke a joint right now.
Yeah.
But, like, the ones I smoked in high school were always fucking fucked up with something.
Yeah, I mean, we smoked a lot of, like, brickweed, like really cheap, shitty brickweed, probably. I'm assuming from Mexico. Like, that would be my initial guess is where it was originated from.
Mm-hmm.
But it was very bad, very cheap weed. But I mean, you couldn't really. I mean, you could really only get like good weed if you knew like older people who grew it. If you were buying weed off the street at that time, it was shitty.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I can imagine the only time I've bought like bad weed, off of non-dispensary was like this one girl that I was talking to for a few weeks, and she needed me to float her $20, and I was like, I can totally float you $20. And I met her at the park at the library at like 11 o'clock at night. Like, I don't normally do that.
Yeah.
And it was like all weird. And then we just sat down and smoked a cigarette for like a few minutes. And it was extra weird because she was an ex-girlfriend of mine too.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then she's like, well, I feel really bad about just taking $20 from you. I'm like, okay. And I was like, I'm like, keeping the money. Did I come here for no reason? Did we just hanging out for like 5 minutes and then you walking away?
Yeah.
And she's like, so I brought you some weed. And I was like, I totally took some weed. Was not expecting weed. Now I'm getting weed.
So brought you some crappy weed.
And she's like, it's got some seeds in it. And I'm like, I know if I smoke too many of those, it'll make me stare as fuck. I didn't say that out loud, but I was just like thinking that. I'm like, I'm gonna have Aurora look through this.
Yeah.
And pick out all the seeds. And she picked out, it was like an eighth. And she picked out like 40 seeds.
Yeah. Yep. That's like the stuff we used to get back in the day. I mean, back in the day, being like a decade ago, you know, because I'm not that old, was basically the way they would grow it. You could tell they would just like grow it in a field and cut it all down and compact it into bricks. So it's like stems and leaves. It wasn't even mostly bud. It was like stems, like fan leaves, everything. Just like they put it in like a trash compactor or something. It's just
Okay.
into like solid kilo bricks, and then you would just like get chunks broken off of that. It was real bad weed by today's standards.
Okay.
And then when we started getting like better weed on the street, like we could sometimes get better weed because we knew some older stoners, like through my grandma and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But when they started getting it on the street, it was stupid expensive. Like some people were charging like $50 for like half it. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah. And that wasn't even, that was like medium grade weed. That would be like mid grade by today's standards.
Mm.
Now that we're legal in Colorado and have tons of dispensaries, you can get a lot better weed. I mean, I smoked a lot of really good weed before legalization, but like I said, it was all from older people and it was all old school strains like Northern Lights and stuff. I think some of the best weed I ever smoked was actually some Northern Lights that we stole from one of my friend's dads in high school.
Oh.
That was extremely good kind of Northern Lights. And he found out about it, and I think my friend
Died.
No. I'm pretty sure he got his ass kicked. Pretty sure. I mean, his dad didn't like beat him, but I'm pretty sure that time his dad beat him.
I mean, I can totally see it happening too.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it wasn't like
when
And
you got some dank ass weed on you,
yeah.
and then your son steals it. Like, first off, it goes missing, and you're like,
Yeah.
who took it? Especially if you're a stoner, man. Like,
Yeah.
you're just sitting there thinking, like, there's no way I smoked that much.
Yeah.
Like, there's probably a whole, like, day or two where he just thought to himself, he's like,
Yeah.
there's no
we
way
took
I
like
smoked all
we
that.
took like a good 2 grams of weed out of his bag. So, and that was some of the first really good weed I smoked that I was like, it actually tasted like something that didn't taste bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the weed we used to smoke tasted like, I don't know, pepper and hay, basically.
Okay.
And that, I mean, it tasted like dispensary Northern Lights, you know? Like
Yeah.
modern grade dispensary Northern Lights. I was like, wow, this is freaking amazing. It's like if you ate oatmeal for your whole life and you were like, what's ice cream? I'm going to try that for breakfast instead, you know? You're like, oh shit, I didn't know this existed.
Dude, I just love the idea of somebody, like, bowl of oatmeal for breakfast,
Yeah.
bowl of oatmeal for lunch,
Yeah.
bowl of oatmeal for dinner. When they're like, you know what, I'm going to treat myself to dessert. Apple and cinnamon oatmeal.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how this
With
works.
honey.
I don't know how this works contextually where this person's only ever eaten oatmeal. Apparently they lived in Soviet Russia. Like oatmeal and bread was just what was available.
Oatmeal and bread, and they were allergic to bread.
Yeah. Oatmeal and bread. I don't really like the bread.
That'd be like some fucking story you'd see on social media.
Yeah.
Russian woman fucking tells a story of how she's eaten nothing but oatmeal for the past 25 years.
Yeah.
4 times a day.
Yeah. Oh, I can definitely see. I mean, I imagine there's some older people who lived through the Soviet Russian era who probably survived for at least like 2 to 3 years at a time on like bread and oatmeal and some basic ass shit. Like when you have a country, like when you live in a country that has shortages of like light bulbs and toilet paper and like basic household necessities, you're probably not going to eat great, I imagine.
For sure.
But, you know, that'll happen when you live in a totalitarian dictatorship that pretends to be communist. Like North Korea. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
We're communists. 75% of our population is starving. How does that work? That's not communism, guys. I don't know if you knew that. Just as a random observation.
Only the wealthy 25% get to eat food.
This is what we call an oligarchy. Well, you starve. We're fine. I just like tried to shake this bottle and I don't know why, but it's gummies, so they're all stuck to the bottom, so it's not shakeable.
Yeah.
I was gonna maraca it because I'm stoned, but it didn't maraca. That's probably a good thing. It probably would have been loud.
Could have been, yeah.
People would have been like, "What's happening? Earthquake in Colorado." So I never want to live in California because I'm from Colorado and I don't know what an earthquake feels like. So every time a truck drove by my house, I'd wake up like, fuck, I'm dying, earthquake. Like, I've never experienced one. I don't know what one feels like. Or like, that's the same reason I don't understand why people still live on the coast of Japan. It's like, once your island gets hit by a minimum, like a certain number of tsunamis, you would think you would just not live in the area that gets hit by the tsunamis. Like,
Right, like
this is Colorado. We don't build houses in avalanche zones because there's fucking avalanches.
yeah.
You shouldn't build houses in tsunami zones because there's fucking tsunamis. Maybe I'm being unrealistic here. Like, I know they have population issues and everything, but seriously.
Right. Like, that just seems like a bad idea.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to rationalize and be like, there's gotta be some, like,
Yeah.
some people that were like,
Yeah.
either saw it as like religious man,
Yeah.
or I don't know, like the thrill of it.
Yeah, I don't know. See, that's the great thing about living in this part of Colorado is we have like a minimum risk of tornadoes. We have no risk of avalanche. Like, the worst we get is like a occasional pretty bad hailstorm. We're pretty much set when it comes to natural disasters. Like,
Yeah.
we don't have to worry about any of that. Like, it's great. No
Mostly,
earthquakes.
all we have to worry
no
about.
tsunamis. No typhoons.
All we have to worry about is if it snows hella bad, and then it rains hella bad.
Yeah.
Because then we flood.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that don't happen often.
Yeah. And even when we had what was it, 2014, we had the 100-year flood. It didn't even flood anything important. And flooded like a gas station in Fort Morgan, just shit around the river. Like, that was about it.
Well, Fort Morgan was pretty good, safe on it because of like how we're situated.
Yeah.
And then just a lot of people ended up coming here during it.
Yeah.
And going to the hotels and stuff. I think that's why there's so many hotels being built.
Yeah. Well, and we're along the highway, so
Yeah.
most of them can be seen from the highway.
Okay.
I think all of the new ones can be seen from the highway, actually.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense then.
Yeah. I mean, we don't really have any tourist attractions, but we got hotels.
Yeah.
We got like a library and a tiny museum.
Yep. There is a sign as you come into Fort Morgan on the highway.
Yeah.
That says that we have a museum.
Oh, we have the golf course.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be pretty nice for this area, I guess. I don't golf.
Then there's Riverside, which has less homeless people in it now.
I mean, marginally.
I thought they went through and like checked at night.
They do, yeah. So people don't really camp there anymore. But they do hang out there during the day.
I mean, that's not that bad.
Yeah. I don't really mind homeless people unless they're like crazy homeless people that are trying to stab me or hit me with things.
See?
Other than that, they're pretty much just people.
Yeah. As long as they're not crazy or pedophile, like, we're good.
Yeah.
Just like Riverside has a lot of playgrounds for children.
Yeah. Like, if you're crazy and you're trying to hit me or something and you're homeless, like,
I'm gonna fight back.
yeah, I'm gonna beat your ass. Like, you're malnourished. I'll win. You know what I mean? Like,
I feel like if they hit you in the stomach,
it's like not an even fight.
Hit your stomach.
Yeah, it's not an even fight.
Like, I feel like I'd bruise your stomach lining and possibly kill you in the future for that.
What happened? Well, I killed him. I didn't mean to, but he died.
I punched him in the stomach. As far as I could tell, his stomach exploded.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
There's a little hole burning through him right now. You can see it right there.
That's why I always imagined it would be terrible to be friends with any superhero that has super strength. Because imagine how much of your shit they would accidentally break, all the time.
Oh yeah.
Or just they'd pat you on the shoulder and just dislocate your shoulder, break your collarbone,
if you have a superhero friend with super strength, you're like, I really want to get you into weed because I feel like it would help you calm down and be less stressed out. And you'd be like, I totally agree with that. And you'd be like, I need to get some silicone pipes.
Yeah.
Because I really like my pipes.
I
And I
want you to
feel like
crush them.
if you get a little bit too high and you're like, give me another one, and I'm like, alright.
Yeah. It just breaks. At least
And
that way
like,
you
it
can
wouldn't
always
even
squish
affect
it.
it.
Yeah.
It would just shatter into like dust.
Yeah.
And like into his hand, it would be like, oh, no shards. You just put it on the ground and be like, I'm so sorry.
I'm just like imagining like Superman or somebody being in your house, you know, just like texting their girlfriend, and they get pissed off and like throw the phone, and it just goes through the wall and like hits your neighbor's house and like breaks their window, like kills their dog, like.
Even more so, like, he's got those laser eyes, right?
Yeah.
He just tosses the phone into the air, fucking incinerates it.
Lights are sailing on fire.
Like 20 minutes later, like everything's back to normal in the house, and all of a sudden, his briefcase starts vibrating, and it's like his backup phone.
Yeah.
He's got like a whole set of backup
So
phones.
yeah, I
in there.
incinerate like 4 or 5 phones a week. Ain't a real bitch. My mom bothers me a lot. My boss, terrible. I imagine you couldn't mix, like, there's no superheroes that, like, you could mix with alcohol. Except Thor, I guess, because he drinks all the time. But, like, a drunk
If anything,
Hulk
I
would
think
be
Thor
terrible.
would get better at fighting.
Yeah. But, like, a drunk Hulk, like, would be, like,
Honestly,
you get Bruce Banner drunk and he just gets a little mad and you just have a wasted Hulk just, like, sloppily stumbling through buildings, like, you know what I mean? Just, like, hiccups and falls over and levels half a church, like.
honestly, I would love it if, like, fucking, all I can imagine right there is, like, you and me being friends with a hell of amount of superheroes, being like, for some fucking reason, and fucking them being like, wanting to get wasted, and all of us being like, I mean, we'll totally get drunk with you, but can we go somewhere safe? I don't want to die.
Right. I just imagine them being mad at me all the time, like, Dave, you gave Doctor Strange LSD and you didn't think this was gonna happen. You gave him 4 hits of acid and you didn't think something crazy was gonna. He's a magician, Dave. This is worse than when you gave Thor all that coke.
Dude, it'd be awesome to do coke with Thor, though. I mean, I don't suggest that you do coke.
Even with Norse gods. Unless it's Loki, then, I mean, you know.
Unless it's low-key, because then you can low-key do coke with Loki.
Yeah, just do it Loki.
Nobody has to find out that you're doing coke with Loki. I mean, he can shape change. You totally look like a hot woman. You can, like, do coke off her ass.
And people is just, I guess they assume that you're doing coke and horse.
I'm perfectly fine
This
with
is my
that.
cocaine. This is my prostitute.
Because, like, the first time somebody tries to have an intervention for me, and, like, if I just have Loki turn into the same prostitute all the time, like, probably they'll invite her to the intervention, and I'll just be like, okay, I have to let you guys know something. This is Loki.
Loki, I've been doing coke with Loki. But not that much. Man, if superheroes existed, so much shit would get fucked up. I would want to give them all acid, though, just to be like, hey, you're a superhero. Try some acid, see what happens.
That would be crazy.
Yeah. You ever play Ratchet and Clank? The video games? You
Yeah.
know, like, swing, like, the fucking Ratchet, like, swing system where you're going through all the crazy shit? Batman on acid. It'd be just, like, same with Spider-Man, just platformer through a city for no apparent reason. News
Duh.
shoppers being like, we're not sure what Spider-Man's chasing. He's yelling at something, but...
The best ones to get on acid. Iron Man.
Yes.
And the Hulk.
Yeah.
When he's not Hulk, Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
Two of the super scientists get him on acid, and then just be like, alright guys, I know you're thinking about some crazy shit. Movie's over. Let's go into your science room.
Just lock him in Stark's lab with a tin strip and a bunch of bottles of water. Be like, eat the acid. Do something cool.
Build amazingness.
Eat the acid. Do cool things. Well, I feel like you can't really lock Tony Stark in anywhere if you lock him in there with his Iron Man suit. It's just basically a skeleton key to doors, floors.
Honestly,
walls,
if you build
ceilings.
him with, if you put him in a room with anything metal and electronic,
Yeah,
he'll just build some form of Iron Man suit.
yeah.
He'll build the gauntlet so he can just blast the door off its hinges when he's done with being in the room.
Yeah.
Like, that'll be the first thing he builds, and then he'll be like, you know what? I will try a hit of acid. And then he'll try a hit of acid, and then like an hour later, he'll build something even better than the glove.
Yeah. Like, I left him in the fucking room with a Swatch watch and a Nokia brick phone, and he still built an Iron Man suit. I mean, it was janky, but it was an Iron Man suit.
Honestly, that's what I do with Tony Stark. If I was friends with him,
Like a challenge of
fucking-
what could Tony build an Iron Man suit out of?
every time we hang out, I'd be like, so I have this idea. Not gonna make it into a YouTube video or anything. But how about you? I lock you in a room in my basement. What? Hear me out.
Hear me out.
I'm gonna give you a Swiss Army knife and a cell phone and a broken laptop. Break out of the room with those things. Don't use the Swiss Army knife to take apart the door. That's
cheating.
just cheating.
Eli, where's the refrigerator? Oh, Tony's wearing it.
Just eventually more and more just like, alright, so there's two broken refrigerators in there. And a fixed one. A new one. Soup, maybe? Just constantly be feeding him drugs the whole time.
You've got like two broken refrigerators, an abandoned 80s ICBM mainframe, and a burnt out Buick Electra. What can you build? I want to see, Tony. This is my game.
Oh, yeah. So, how far do you think we're into the podcast?
Oh, man. Judging by the amount of dabs that I've smoked, I'm going to say like an hour.
Damn, you were so good at guessing. We're at an hour and 2 minutes in.
Yes. Yes. I have a pretty consistent rate of cannabis consumption.
I'm gonna say this is a good stopping point. Is there anything you'd like to say?
Bye.
If you guys like this podcast, be sure to check out more podcasts like this. I plan on doing more, being more active. Didn't talk about it. I'm on antidepressants now to help with my grandpa passing and everything. And they're helping me quite a bit. They're making me stay up, which is a side effect of them. And if it keeps happening, I'm supposed to stop taking them. But they're helping me not be depressed right now and be more active in doing stuff. So I plan on doing more YouTube shit and being more consistent with podcasts. I said that last time, the other podcast, but Dave's here, so he can make me more consistent.
Podcasts happen.
Yep. But yeah, if you guys like this podcast, check out the other one. and there'll be more to come in the future. Love you guys. Laters.